Let's get into it. I wanted to talk about this, and I don't like to get in pop culture. I don't like pop culture. I don't like it at all. And I don't consider comedians pop culture, even though they're a little bit in the pop culture. But I felt like I had to talk about it because I think there's a lot of people that could, take some value of this conversation. And I have some relatable content, or I have some relatable conversations and stories from friends that dealt with this shit. And it's just it's a horrible fucking thing to witness and experience the pain that goes into false allegations of sexual assault. Sexual assault. You put that sexual assault on your fucking steak tacos. It's fucking wonderful. Put that shit in your mouth and it's like rape. No, sexual assault is no laughing matter. But the people that claim sexual assault on people that are, they're lying about it is fucking horrible. It's fucking horrible. And I was sitting there the other day and I'm like, man, there's a lot of cases that kind of fall through. Like these people claim sexual assault on these famous people. And it fell through and nothing fucking happened. The dude just went off the fucking grid like his career was over. And so, it's horrible to watch that shit. And it doesn't just happen to fucking celebrities. You look at it and you're like, all of a sudden after all these times, like all these people come out and it's usually politically. Like, why the fuck did you wait so long to say something? Oh, that person was gaining traction and then you said something? Like, yes, I'm not denying there's situations that happen where a man or even a woman, like, let's just throw that out there. It's not just men that are the fucking people of this. I've been fucking sexually assaulted before in my life. I have a story about that I'll probably tell on the fucking podcast one day. Had to do with this fat redheaded chick who fucking threw her pussy on my mouth. And I wasn't ready for it because I was drunk and high. Do I go 20 years later and fucking go fucking to a fucking, a hearing? No. I tell it as a story because I'm a man. And I fucking enjoyed it while I was stoned and fucking drunk. But she definitely raped me, all right? But here's the deal. I know everybody's situation is different. I'm not denying that. I'm not denying that people don't use their power or their situation in life like a celebrity will fucking, use their, position to gain themselves sexually. I'm not, Look at Bill Cosby. Look at the fucking Jello pudding pop master, the king of the Jello pudding pops. Look at him. He's in jail. All right? He was proven in the court of law. And I'm going to get into all that. Sorry to those of you who wear the sweaters while you listen to this podcast. Rudy! Some of you Theos need to relax a little bit. But yeah, so there's this article that came out in LA Times, just busted in the scene, accusing a comedian that I really enjoy listening to his podcast. He's got a podcast with Brendan Schaub. It's Bryan Callen and Brendan Schaub. They got King and the Sting. Not King and the Sting. That's Theo Vaughn. So Bryan Callen and Brendan Schaub have a podcast called The Fighter and the Kid. It's on YouTube. You can check it out. It's awesome. I subscribe to them on YouTube, which you should do with my podcast right here, Violent Professional Podcast. It's at youtube.com/Violent Professional Podcast. Not Violent Professional Podcast, just youtube.com/Violent Professional. You can get right there and then subscribe. Hit the subscribe button, bell notifications. But I watch and listen to, I just watch the podcast on YouTube. It's The Fighter and the Kid, and it's Bryan Callen. He's been in great movies like The Hangover. He was that Russian dude in the strip club. If you've seen the movie, he's got a lot of stuff out there. He's on TV shows. He's a fucking famous comedian, And a few weeks ago, a month or so ago, was Chris D'Elia, who I look up to as well as far as comedic inspiration. I love that dude and his comedia. And some of those allegations have been proven false. Like, allegations are just allegations until you prove them true. And in many cases, a lot of them are fucking proven. Not many. I'll just say in these situations, in Chris D'Elia's case, it was proven that it was like, there was people, saying he did stuff when he never met them. It's like, and the media just runs wild with that shit. They just jump all over it because it's a fucking famous person getting accused of something that maybe they did or maybe they didn't. And it's unfortunate because I enjoyed Chris's comedy and his fucking podcast. I listened to that. He had Congratulations. It's on YouTube as well. It's an awesome podcast. It's just him, like, it's sort of like this, like, he just sits in his room, and he has a podcast studio, and he just fucking rambles and just talks and has some funny shit he says. He's got little quirks about him, and then he's got podcast specials on, or he's got a comedy specials on Netflix and stuff, and it essentially, just the allegations without the actual proof ruined his life immediately. Like, he hasn't been on social, he hasn't been putting anything out for fucking 2 months now, and it's unfortunate. Just allegations that were unfounded. I mean, there may be something that comes out later. I'm not saying that he's fucking not guilty, but I'm saying that there's no proof that he was doing anything illegal. You know what I mean? You can look at the conspiracy and go on, what's that fucking conspiracy thing? Not 4chan. I mean, that's one of them, but you can go in like Reddit. You can go on Reddit and look at what people are thinking is happening. Like, they're trying to go after every major comedian, whatever, because people are fucking bored. I don't fucking know. So, Bryan Callen, who unfortunately was now accused of sexually, using his power as a position to manipulate women, and maybe it's true, maybe it's not, though. There's always that. So an LA Times article came out, written by some feminist lady, super feminist, who jumped all over the chance to write a piece about how some comedian supposedly raped all these women. Which is a weird thing in itself. When these allegations come out, I understand they're famous people, but it's always followed by like, 32 people fucking all of a sudden were raped by this person. And again, I'm not denying that this shit happens. I'm just saying it's a little bit odd that it's almost like something was written like, hey, in the event somebody comes forward, we just need people to say that they did this too. And like, accusation is enough to ruin somebody's career. I've seen it happen with friends that they were accused of something and it never fucking happened and was proven in a court of law. And I'll get into that later. And, it just ruins people's lives, just the accusation alone. And I don't think that that's necessarily right.